Every morning is a gift from God, a fresh opportunity to begin again, to walk in faith, and to live with purpose. Before the responsibilities of the day begin calling your attention, before you reach for your phone, check your messages, or start worrying about what needs to be accomplished, take a moment to remember God. Putting God first every morning means recognizing that your life, your strength, your opportunities, and even your next breath are gifts that you did not create for yourself. When you begin your morning by acknowledging Him, you place your heart in the right position. You are telling God, before anything else takes my attention, I want you to have my attention. There is something powerful about giving God the first moments of your day. The morning is often when your mind is quietest and your heart is most open. Instead of allowing fear to become your first thought, choose faith. Instead of beginning with complaints, begin with gratitude. Instead of immediately thinking about everything that could go wrong, remember everything God has already brought you through. You may not know what today will bring, but you can know that you do not have to walk into it alone. God can give you wisdom when you are uncertain, strength when you are tired, patience when you are frustrated, and peace when circumstances become difficult. Every new morning brings a choice. You can begin the day trying to control every detail, worrying about what might happen, or you can place the entire day into God's hands and trust His guidance. Surrendering your day to God does not mean giving up on your responsibilities, dreams, or goals. It means recognizing that you do not have to carry everything by yourself. You can make plans, work hard, and pursue what matters to you while still allowing God to direct your steps. Before the demands of the day begin, take a quiet moment and say, Lord, I give this day to you. Those simple words can change the way you approach everything ahead. You may have a schedule already prepared, but you cannot see every conversation, opportunity, disappointment, or unexpected event that may come. God sees what you cannot see. He knows what is ahead, and trusting Him means believing that His wisdom is greater than your own understanding. Many times, anxiety comes from our desire to know exactly how everything will turn out. We want answers before we take the first step. We want certainty before we move forward. We want to know whether our plans will succeed, whether people will respond the way we hope, and whether tomorrow will bring what we expect. But faith teaches us to move forward even when the entire path is not visible. You do not need to understand everything before you trust God. When you surrender your day, surrender your expectations as well. You may have imagined how today should unfold, but sometimes the best moments come through interruptions you never planned. A conversation you did not expect may encourage you. A closed door may protect you from something you could not see. A delay may give you time to prepare for something better. A disappointment may redirect your attention toward a path that is more meaningful. Instead of immediately asking why something is happening, learn to ask, Lord, what are you teaching me through this? Trusting God's guidance requires patience. We often want immediate answers, but God's timing may not match our schedule. Waiting can feel uncomfortable, especially when you have been praying for a breakthrough. Yet waiting does not mean that nothing is happening. Sometimes God is working in circumstances that you cannot see. Sometimes He is preparing you before changing your situation. Sometimes the delay develops patience, wisdom, humility, or strength that you will need for the next season. There may be moments today when you have to make difficult decisions. Before relying only on your emotions or rushing because you feel pressured, pause and pray. Ask God for wisdom and discernment. Ask Him to help you recognize what is right and to give you courage to follow it. Not every opportunity is meant for you, and not every open door is necessarily the right door. When you trust God, you become willing to let Him close doors that you would have chosen for yourself. Surrender also means giving God your fears. Perhaps you are worried about your future, your finances, your family, your career, or something you cannot change. Fear can consume your attention before the day has even begun. But you can choose to bring those fears into prayer instead of allowing them to control your thoughts. Tell God exactly what concerns you. Then remind yourself that your responsibility is faithfulness, not control. Do what you can with what you have and trust God with what is beyond your reach. You should also surrender your relationships to God. You cannot control what other people think, say, or do. You cannot force someone to understand you, appreciate you, or change their behavior. But you can control how you respond. Ask God to help you respond with patience instead of anger, forgiveness instead of bitterness, and wisdom instead of impulsiveness. Sometimes trusting God means choosing peace, even when you have every reason to argue. Surrendering your day does not mean becoming passive. It means becoming purposeful. You still wake up and do your work. You still pursue your goals. You still make decisions and take action. The difference is that you are no longer depending entirely on your own strength. You are inviting God into the process. You are saying, Lord, guide my efforts. Correct me when I am going in the wrong direction. Strengthen me when I become tired. Help me recognize the opportunities you place before me. There will be days when God's guidance becomes clear only after you look back. At the beginning, you may not understand why something happened. Later, you may recognize that what seemed like a setback actually protected you, prepared you, or redirected you. This is why trust is so important. You cannot always judge God's work by what you see in the present moment. Sometimes understanding comes later. As you move through the day, continue returning your heart to God. If something unexpected happens, pray. If you become frustrated, pray. If you receive good news, give thanks. If you face disappointment, seek His strength. Make God part of the entire journey rather than only turning to Him when there is a crisis. A surrendered life is built through continual trust. At the beginning of each morning, place your plans, concerns, relationships, responsibilities, and future into God's hands. Then take the next step with faith. You do not have to know everything that will happen. You do not have to solve every problem today. You do not have to carry tomorrow before it arrives. Trust God with the road ahead. Remain faithful with what is in front of you, and allow His guidance to shape your decisions throughout the day. When you surrender your day to God, you exchange the pressure of having to control everything for the peace of knowing that you are being guided. You can walk into uncertainty without being controlled by fear. You can face challenges without believing they are bigger than God's ability to help you. You can continue moving forward even when the path is not completely clear. Place this day in His hands, trust His wisdom, listen for His direction, and take each step with faith. Every morning is a gift from God, a fresh opportunity to begin again, to walk in faith, and to live with purpose. Before the responsibilities of the day begin calling your attention, before you reach for your phone, check your messages, or start worrying about what needs to be accomplished, take a moment to remember God. Putting God first every morning means recognizing that your life, your strength, your opportunities, and even your next breath are gifts that you did not create for yourself. When you begin your morning by acknowledging Him, you place your heart in the right position. You are telling God, before anything else takes my attention, I want you to have my attention. There is something powerful about giving God the first moments of your day. The morning is often when your mind is quietest and your heart is most open. Instead of allowing fear to become your first thought, choose faith. Instead of beginning with complaints, begin with gratitude. Instead of immediately thinking about everything that could go wrong, remember everything God has already brought you through. You may not know what today will bring, but you can know that you do not have to walk into it alone. God can give you wisdom when you are uncertain, strength when you are tired, patience when you are frustrated, and peace when circumstances become difficult. Putting God first does not require an elaborate routine. It begins with a sincere heart. You can simply say, Lord, thank you for this new day. Guide my thoughts, my words, and my actions. Help me honor you in everything I do. A simple prayer can redirect your entire perspective. Prayer is not about using perfect words. It is about opening your heart to God. Tell Him what concerns you. Tell Him what you are hoping for. Tell Him where you feel weak. Ask Him to strengthen the areas of your life where you are struggling. When you put God first, you also learn to surrender control. Many people wake up already carrying tomorrow's problems. They worry about money, relationships, responsibilities, decisions, and circumstances they cannot control. But God does not ask you to carry everything at once. Give Him your burdens. You can make plans while still trusting His direction. You can work toward your goals while remembering that your ultimate security does not come from your plans. When you surrender your day to God, you make room for peace because you no longer believe you must control every outcome. Your first thoughts matter because thoughts influence attitudes, attitudes influence actions, and actions shape the direction of your day. If you begin the morning thinking everything is going wrong, you may carry that expectation into every conversation. But if you begin by thinking, God is with me and I will trust Him today, you approach challenges differently. Faith does not mean pretending that problems do not exist. It means refusing to allow problems to become greater than your confidence in God. Starting your morning with God also means allowing His Word to shape your thinking. The world will constantly tell you to measure your worth by success, appearance, possessions, popularity, or achievements. God's truth reminds you that your value is deeper than those temporary things. When you spend time reading Scripture and reflecting on God's promises, you give your mind something stronger to hold on to when negative thoughts appear later in the day. Ask God to help you become more patient. Ask Him to help you speak with kindness. Ask Him to help you resist temptation. Ask Him to give you discernment when making decisions. Ask Him to make you sensitive to opportunities to help others. You may begin the day with one intention, but God may place someone in your path who needs encouragement, compassion, or forgiveness. When God is first, you become more willing to notice those opportunities instead of being completely consumed by your own schedule. There will be mornings when you do not feel motivated to pray. There will be days when your heart feels heavy and your faith feels weak. Do not wait until you feel perfect before you seek God. Come to Him exactly as you are. If you are tired, come tired. If you are confused, come confused. If you are discouraged, come discouraged. God already knows what is happening inside you. Your weakness does not disqualify you from His presence. Putting God first every morning is ultimately about priority. It is deciding that God will not receive whatever is left over after everything else has received your attention. Give Him the beginning. Give Him your gratitude. Give Him your thoughts. Give Him your plans. Give Him your fears. Give Him your hopes. When you establish that priority in the morning, you create a foundation that can carry you through the rest of the day. Before you step into the demands of today, pause and remember who is with you. You may have difficult conversations ahead. You may have responsibilities that feel overwhelming. You may face decisions that require wisdom. You may encounter unexpected obstacles. Yet you can walk forward with confidence because your day has been placed in God's hands. You do not need to know every detail of the road ahead. You only need to trust the one who sees the entire path. Make it a daily habit to begin with God. Let prayer come before panic. Let gratitude come before complaint. Let faith come before fear. Let God's truth come before the opinions of the world. When you make Him your first priority, you begin each day with a heart that is prepared not merely to accomplish tasks, but to live with purpose, patience, love, and faithfulness. So tomorrow morning, resist the temptation to immediately rush into the noise of the world. Give God the first moments of your day. Sit quietly, pray, read His word, give thanks, ask for wisdom, surrender your worries, commit your plans to Him. Then rise and walk into the day with confidence. Not because you know everything that will happen, but because you know where your trust belongs. Always begin your day with God. When God is first in your morning, you are reminded that He can also be first in your thoughts, your decisions, your relationships, your work, and your priorities. Let your first words be words of gratitude. Let your first thoughts be thoughts of faith. Let your first decision be to trust Him. You have been given a new day. Do not waste its beginning in fear. Begin with prayer. Begin with gratitude. Begin with faith. Begin with God and carry His presence with you into everything you do today.